Alright, so this is a response. I posted one video so far. One video. Like what, 3 days ago. And already I have apparently drawn some kind of attention to myself. There is a blog that has mentioned my video on top of 8 other ones. And all they really do is they just post the links, and then there is the link will be down. At the bottom of the post it says, "More supply for misogyny and the male medical machine's demands," and then it's signed dirt. Basically, this blog, just so you have some background, basically this, it's about detransitioning and how it's possible. So just for starters, if this writer specifically kept the detransitioning, saying it's totally possible to detransition in the sense that you have that option of once you start transitioning, you don't have to stay with it if you find that it's not your path. I can completely agree with that. You know, you should be free to experiment with who you are, and it could just be that, like, you want to do maybe a surgery, or you want to just take some of the hormones and then stop or something. Like, that's totally up to you. Just because you do that does not mean you have to commit to what I guess society would believe that would mean specifically. So you might, I don't know. Anyway, so point being is that these effects, even though they are permanent, it does not necessarily mean that you have to stay with, like, whatever you started out with at first. Because you travel on this path, and, you know, it's like the first thing you do is transition, and then after that, you kind of figure out your gender identity if it's not already totally clear to you, because all of a sudden you're able to present who you really feel you are. And so it's really a never-ending journey. So I just want to mention that because I think that's really important. But the problem that I have with this blog is that not only does this person promote this, but this person also has posted, like I said, 9 videos of people who are beginning to transition or have already started doing so. I guess, like, actually transitioning. And is basically throwing it out there as, like, saying, like, here are people that I don't even know exactly, honestly, what she's trying to say, or he, I'm not entirely positive at this point. Anyway, so, I mean, I don't necessarily think that's a complete invasion of privacy per se, because I do post my information on YouTube, you know, like, I obviously limit what people are gonna know, and other people understand that. I mean, I'm not necessarily counting on any sort of privacy at this point. I have, you know, but I think that there's a difference between privacy and just the fact of being able to pull someone's video to personally attack it. More, like, I guess morally, I would believe that would be wrong, in a sense that, like, that's just not cool, dude. I mean, come on. But at the same time, again, I know that I put my video out there and that's gonna happen, but you know, it's just personally bringing people into your discussion like that without having ever talked to them personally is rude. So I just want to throw that out there. I also believe that you are misusing the word misogyny. Misogyny is defined in Merriam-Webster as a hatred of women. I've also seen another one that was like a hatred of women by men specifically. And as far as I know, no female to male hates women. I mean, maybe, you know, for whatever reason, there's some random one that, for whatever reason, like, greatly dislikes women. I have no idea, but there are other people, I'm sure, that greatly dislike women, simply probably because, I don't know, they might just dislike women, because obviously, why else would that word exist? But female to males do not hate women. Like, that's just ridiculous. I mean, okay, think about it. Like, we're not sitting here saying, oh my god, I hate women, I would never want to be one. It's, I hate being a woman, I hate physically having the body of a woman, I want to be male. That's what it's about. It's not saying that, oh my god, I hate women. In fact, actually, a lot of female to males love women. I'm sure I love women. So I would not necessarily sit there and say that I'm some kind of proof of misogyny because I love women. So come on now. I mean, if you're gonna use a word, at least try to use it right. You know, if you're really actually against people hating women, go find some YouTube videos of people hating on women, because trust me, I'm sure it exists. I'm not gonna YouTube it, but I'm just saying. Another thing I want to touch on is that there's this spectrum of gender identity. Okay, it's not specifically somebody that's going to transition necessarily is going to sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm a male. Somebody might do a little bit of, like I said before, one of the processes is transitioning, and then decide maybe I don't want to identify as male, maybe I want to identify as androgynous, you know, so there's some people that are gender fluid, they identify as male and sometimes as female. But it could be that they prefer to have a flatter chest or a bit more of a lower voice or something simple like that. Then it's something that they feel more comfortable with. And then there's the people that want to go through full processes. There's people that, you know, are okay with just like hormones or something like that. But there's no specific line between what a man is and what a woman is. At least in my opinion. I know a lot of people that I think they agree with me. But as far as that goes, there's also a lot of ways that you can identify that is in between, you know, another really simple one, you know, a masculine female or a feminine male. Like, you know, I mean, sometimes, honestly, I would consider myself a feminine male every once in a while. Like, sure, I can get a little giggly, you know, all that crap, but whatever. That doesn't make me any less than a man. So, yeah, just want people to know that. With that being said, it should also be known that anything you do is permanent. So I mean, like, if I just want to, there's another thing I don't want to go out there. Anything that you do to transition is permanent. That has to be seriously considered before you do something like that. And to be honest, a lot of the people that end up getting surgeries and hormones and all of these things don't regret it because they know that that's what they want. And if there are people that regret it, then, you know, like, I don't really know what to say about that because I've honestly never really looked into it. But I think that it kind of just goes to show, in a sense, not saying that they did anything wrong, but just saying, like, it can happen and you should just be aware of that. And so if you are only wanting to, like, have one or two of the effects of testosterone, for example, or estrogen, I mean, really look up the effects and what's permanent, especially with testosterone. You know, your voice gets lower. I think the fat redistribution will go back. As you stop having periods, you're gonna grow facial hair. Your face will become more masculine looking. And that stuff doesn't go away. Maybe it's about to repeat something. If I already didn't say your voice gets lower, then let me throw that one in there, but I'm pretty sure I said it. But I personally, like, I'm pre-everything. I haven't done anything yet, unfortunately. And, but I know that the scars from the surgeries that I get are gonna be worth it. Like, I would rather have these scars than what I had to get removed to get the scars, I guess you could say. So I'll tell you something. I do not want these things that are on my chest. It is uncomfortable. Oh god, I hate it. Oh man. I wish I could get rid of them right now, but unfortunately I do not have thousands of dollars. And in the end, well, it's not necessarily in the end, but one other thing I don't completely understand that I'm interested in understanding, because part of the reason I'm making this video is for, like, almost starting a discussion, but just throwing it out there and not just being like, take my video down. I mean, if that's what people want, then honestly I think that you should respect that, because that's, you know, that's something that that's personal, and why would you go posting it like that just to use it as some kind of proof for something that you don't seem to completely understand? But okay, there we go, I found it. I don't completely understand your point, to be honest, because you're going from talking about detransitioning to all of a sudden bringing these people into your blog, and then you just kind of posted in there. And so really having read some of your other posts and your little description and stuff, I still don't completely get it as to why. I guess I don't understand why you think it would be such a bad thing, as opposed to maybe possibly just regretting it or something. Because I would almost put you on level with those programs that try to turn gay people straight. To be honest, it's just you're not actually forcing anybody, but still, the principle is there. And the last thing that I wanted to say is that telling people that you're going to delete comments because they say a specific word is a form of censoring, and that's going to just discourage discussion, and you should be open to all of the points, because if you're going to put your opinion out there, you have to be willing to accept that people are going to have the opposite opinion. People are going to have the opposite opinion of you than you, and you have to be ready to talk to people about that. And so you can't just put your opinion out there and then tell people that they can't tell you their own opinion. That's just not fair. That's not right. So, I don't know. I really, I don't think you should do that. I think that your idea, if that's really what you want to do, if you really want to put out there that it is possible, it's like, don't feel guilty if you start transitioning and then you end up deciding that maybe that's not how far you want to go, or you're at a really good point, or maybe you find you identify more as in the middle, like androgynous or something. Like, you don't have to sit there. It's the same thing as, it's like you might go through, I went through being bisexual to lesbian to being transgender. I mean, those are all processes in themselves, but it's a different kind of transition. So I think that is an important message, because I think that people should be willing to know that there's no pressure, that if they end up doing something with transitioning or anything like that, it's like, it's a process, and it could be your whole life. It could be, maybe by the time you're 25, you figure it out. But I think that the way that you are going about it is wrong. I don't think that it is right for you to bring individual people in and use them as, again, some kind of proof for a word that you don't seem to really understand. At least from my perspective, because that word means you hate women, you have a hate of women or whatever, and I don't hate women. And I don't think that any other F to M hates women. I embrace femininity, I embrace females, and blah, 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 and all that crap. Well, no, not crap, but just saying, like, all the other stuff. Anyway, point being is that you have your right to your opinion, and you have freedom of speech to say what you will, but keep it to a general level. Bring in people that contact you that are okay with being posted, and do it more, at least from, I believe that you should do it from more of it is possible to do something like that, instead of talking about how it's a bad thing to transition, and that because you want to transition to be male, you hate females. It is not true. They just hate being female. There's a complete difference. Anyway, sorry, this was a really long video, but I really just wanted to get in everything that I had to say. So, yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna go now, I guess, because I have still everything I had to say. So, bye.